Animation has been a popular medium of entertainment for many years, with animated films like 2023's The Super Mario Bros. Movie being the second highest grossing film of that year, and even animated television series are incredibly popular, especially today with shows like Invincible. But it's not just America that produces acclaimed animated TV shows that also gain high viewership. It's also Japan, with anime like Attack on Titan and that one about the screaming pirate child.
That was vegetable juice, jerk!
But what if I told you that there is a wonderful film that is not from the US or Japan, but from Belgium, and it deserves everyone's attention? The English language Belgian comedy film, The Queen's Corgi. A film that is so good that The Independent called it deeply unpleasant and in no way suitable for children, and has a beautiful Rotten Tomatoes score of 0%. I had first heard of this film before it was released to the world when I was randomly recommended the amazing trailer.
Meet Rex. Ever since he was a puppy, he's been the Queen's top dog. Life was pretty good, until he got locked out of the palace and put in the doghouse.
I want to go home. I'm the Queen's Corgi.
Hold it tight.
I unfortunately did not see this film when it came out in cinemas, which I think was because I couldn't be bothered to, but I did eventually watch it in 2020 during lockdown when it came to Netflix in the UK. The film is directed by Ben Stassen and Vincent Kesteloot, if I'm even saying that right. Ben Stassen was responsible for the animated film Fly Me to the Moon, which I watched many years ago and have forgotten everything about it. Maybe I'll just look at some clips to refresh my memory.
That's it? I overheard them talking and they said these guys, they're astronauts.
The film stars Jack Whitehall as the titular Queen's Corgi, while Julie Walters appears as Queen Elizabeth. Jack Whitehall is known for his other comedic parts, such as his hilarious character in the hit Disney film Jungle Cruise. And Julie Walters is known for absolute peak, like the Harry Potter films and Mamma Mia.
Not my daughter, you bitch!
Now, before I start talking about the movie, I have to leave a disclaimer. Please ignore the Activate Windows watermark in the bottom corner of the screen. I'm poor, and external Blu-ray drives are not cheap. I do have photographic proof that I own the film on Blu-ray, and I do also own it on Prime Video, along with the first 8 Saw films.
You're crazy.
So let's dive into this film and see why the titular Queen's Corgi is the best animated corgi since Ein from Cowboy Bebop. The film opens with Prince Philip, who is still alive, I think, giving Queen Elizabeth a box that has the Union Jack on it, in case you didn't know that this film is set in the UK. Philip then leans in to kiss his hot wife when something moves inside the box. Out comes our protagonist Rex, who's a puppy at this point, and he starts licking Lizzie's face. I'm so jealous. We then get a cute and funny montage of Rex doing cute dog things, like retrieving things for the Queen and wiping ass on the floor. Then Philip wants to have sex with his wife, but Rex cock blocks him. This whole montage is very important for the rest of the film, as it shows that the Queen heavily favours Rex over the other corgis, and not just the corgis, but her own husband. It also shows that Rex is a bit of a troublemaker, and he just seems to get away with everything. I'm going to take a little detour and talk about the music in this scene. I can't play it for you because I'm worried I'll get copyright striked, but it sounds incredibly generic, like they just went onto a royalty-free website and typed in fancy music or something like that. I wonder who the film's composer was. Ramin Djawadi, the Game of Thrones composer? You mean to tell me that the guy who created one of the most iconic television theme songs of all time also composed this movie? I mean, this did come out the same year that the final season of Game of Thrones did, so maybe he's in his flop era. Now Rex is all grown up, and still causes trouble in Buckingham Palace. I think we're supposed to like this character because 30 seconds ago he was the cute puppy, and everyone loves baby characters. The next scene starts and the staff are decorating Buckingham Palace with American flags, which can only mean one thing: the president is coming to town. But which president would it be? Oh no! That's right, Donald Trump is in this film. And the film gives a hint of his arrival with a Coca-Cola bottle that says the funny Kefefe thing. We then hear Rex speak for the first time, and it's also the first time we hear Rex refer to himself as the Queen's top dog, which will not be the only time he says it, trust me. The Corgi with the big eyebrows, who is called Nelson, but I will call Bogdan, tells Rex what it means to be a top dog.
Selfless acts of courage. That's what it means to be a top dog.
But then they immediately sideline this to rip off the cute Puss in Boots moments from the Shrek films. The Corgis then race down to greet the president, causing a suit of armour to sexually harass a woman on the way down. A golden car pulls up outside, and out emerges Donald Trump himself. Trump is played by British actor John Culshaw, who hasn't really done much else in the realm of film, although he did portray Tony Blair in the 2004 comedy film Churchill: The Hollywood Years, which starred Christian Slater and Neve Campbell.
Lieutenant Winston Churchill, the U.S. Marines. You got a problem with that, pal?
What about peace in our time?
Yeah, I'll give you peace. A piece of Hitler's ass.
Anthony Sher.
I'd like you to know I have a complete set of testicles.
God bless you, Churchill.
Churchill, The Hollywood Years.
Culshaw has the tremendous honour of uttering the best line in this film.
An honor to meet you, ma'am. Royal selfie, cheesesteak.
The Queen then suggests that Donald Trump's dog should mate with one of her corgis, which none of them seem to like, and then Trump says this.
Alright then, Mitzi, go grab some puppy.
Did they just make a reference to the Donald Trump Access Hollywood tape where he was recorded saying this? In a kids movie? Interesting choice, John R. Smith and Rob Spreckling. Now I understand what The Independent meant in their review. But I'm sure that's the only inappropriate moment in the film. So then, in the next scene, Trump's dog tries to have sex with Rex, even though he doesn't want to. And she then proceeds to chase him around the palace, like the Verbalace Has-Been Hotel video. Rex then makes his way to where Queen Elizabeth is having dinner with Donald Trump, where Prince Philip causes an act of animal abuse by kicking Rex, who then flies into Trump's crotch, who then spits out his Nickelodeon slime at the Queen's breast. Trump then reveals that it was Rex who bit him in the crotch, revealing his US flag underwear.
And now they're making Ghostbusters with only women. What's going on?
This makes the Queen very upset at Rex, and this is the only time in the whole film where we see her this upset at him, even though we've seen him misbehave in other ways before. I guess she just didn't care then. Oh wait, I know why. It's because the film's inciting incident hasn't happened yet, so we need a little bit of forced conflict. So we'll have Rex bite Trump in the unmentionables. So Rex is now majorly depressed and wants to leave Buckingham Palace forever. So in comes Charlie, another Corgi character played by Matt Lucas. Matt Lucas has appeared in many British films and TV shows, from Doctor Who to the Harry Hill movie.
Dance with me!
Oh, please.
A schoolhouse outhouse on highway number 19.
So then Charlie suggests that Rex should leave Buckingham Palace and go to the Vatican to be the Pope's dog instead. Whatever you do, don't look up what Rex was doing during his time with the Pope. In all seriousness, I don't understand this pacing. Rex is scolded by the Queen once, and not even that badly, and now he wants to immediately leave and go live with the Pope. There really should be more of a build-up of the Queen being sick of Rex's behaviour, not just one incident. And also, what's the big deal anyway? It was only Trump visiting for dinner or whatever. It's not like he was going to drop nukes on England because Rex bit him in the unmentionables. It is impossible to have any sort of sympathy towards Rex. He's a cute dog that literally lives in Buckingham Palace and has to literally do nothing all day other than being the Queen's dog. Rex and Charlie sneak out of Buckingham Palace with relative ease in a scene that has no tension, but at least they do the epic spider pig thing from the Simpsons movie. Then Charlie tells Rex to take his super special royal top dog collar off, under the guise of people being able to recognize Rex with it on. So he takes it off, and I'm sure this will end well. They make it outside Buckingham Palace and almost immediately get hit by a car. Eventually they make it into St. James's Park and...
Amazing, we're still in one piece.
I take back everything I said about this film, it's actually good. Then there's a super unnecessary scene where these geese emerge from the park and chase the two corgis for approximately 2 seconds.
Ah! Shit! 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 Fuck me! Fuck me! Ah! 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 Shit! What the fuck?
This moment adds nothing to the film. I don't know if it's supposed to be funny or scary, and spoiler alert, these geese literally never show up again. And then, in a moment that shocked no one, Charlie pushes Rex off of a bridge and onto an icy lake below, revealing Charlie's true self. He believes that he was destined to be the Queen's favourite dog, I mean top dog, before Rex came along. And then...
So long, imposter!
This is definitely a top 10 betrayal scene, with Scar's betrayal in The Lion King being right behind it.
Long live the top dog.
Come to think of it, so far throughout this film, I found a few similar moments and imagery to other, better animated films. Then Rex has some sort of dying dream of the Queen sticking a suppository up his ass. But it wasn't actually the Queen, it was this vet lady. Because Rex doesn't have his collar on, he's put into a kennel where he meets Jack and Chief. Jack doesn't believe that Rex is the Queen's corgi, responding by saying,
And I'm Napoleon, Emperor of France. And this is Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games.
So then Jack goes through the rules of the kennel and...
Rule 3, there is no fight club.
Okay, why is this film suddenly doing pop culture references? Do the writers of the film think that the only sources of humour are Le Funny President, sexual harassment, and obvious pop culture references? You just know that Jack is one of those people who censor Fight Club's title when including it in a basic list of their top 10 favourite films ever. Rex then goes on to explain that he now wants to go back to Buckingham Palace and that he was betrayed by his best friend. Maybe if we actually had a bit of time to see Rex and Charlie's friendship together, aside from them becoming roadkill, I'd actually care that Rex was betrayed. It's also the only time we've heard Rex call Charlie his best friend, because from what I've seen, it looks like the Queen is Rex's best and probably only friend. All the other corgis seem to dislike Rex for being so arrogant and basically being a mama's boy, and Prince Philip hates him for turning him into a cuckold. Then Rex thinks he's about to be reunited with the Queen and is so excited that his voice becomes a bit robotic.
Nice going, kid.
Bring me back to Buckingham Palace in the Bentley. That's no Queen.
Not so sure about that, pal.
Back at Buckingham Palace, everyone is searching for Rex, and Charlie convinces them all that he has been eaten by foxes. I really dislike how Charlie showed literally no signs of villainy before betraying Rex. He was basically just a background character for the first 17 minutes of the film, but after the betrayal, he has just become comically evil. And then Philip decides to turn into John Wick.
Blasted vermin. I'll get the shotgun.
The Queen then also refers to Rex as Charlie's best friend. This is like the Star Wars prequels, where we're just told that Anakin and Obi-Wan are best friends, but we never actually see them be best friends. Obviously Rex is Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan had the high ground, and Rex is the Queen's top dog, so he's high up I guess. And Charlie is Anakin, because he just suddenly turns insanely evil for basically no reason. Rex goes down to the furnace room in the kennel, where there is a secret dog fight club, run by Tyson, the big, mean, scary dog character. Tyson seems to run the place, with Jack even referring to him as the top dog. Clearly, this is one of the film's main antagonists, and Rex will surely defeat him somehow, because he is our true top dog. Tyson is played by Ray Winstone, who has had other voice acting roles before, in films like Rango and The Magic Roundabout. He also recently played the amazing villain in the film Black Widow. Then, one of my least favourite characters of the film is finally introduced, a woman dog called Wanda. Rex is immediately attracted to her, but is told she is Tyson's girl, but I'm sure that no problems will ever come of this. Wanda is voiced by Sheridan Smith, who has been in quite a bit, but all I know her as is the Shell Woman from the Harry Hill movie. Come to think of it, Sheridan Smith is also the love interest in the Harry Hill movie, which also has Matt Lucas as the villain, and it has Julie Walters as a sort of mother figure, just like this movie does. What's going on here? The scene immediately after this has the only good joke in the film, with Prince Philip reading a book called How to Kill My Dog. Although I'm not sure why he's reading it at this point in the film, because they already think that Rex is dead. Wouldn't it make more sense to have this visual gag earlier in the film? Maybe in that montage at the start, because Philip clearly didn't like Rex that much. Unless Philip is planning on killing another one of the Corgis, maybe he's going to kill Charlie because he knows what he did to Rex. Maybe Philip will become the hero of this film. So Wanda realises that Rex is in fact the Queen's Corgi, and immediately takes a liking to him. What? She says she finds him very attractive and that he's the dog of her dreams?
You know, I find you very attractive, Rex. Isn't it obvious? I've been crazy about you since I first saw you. You're the dog of my dreams, Rex.
Well, I'm not saying she's a gold digger, but it is incredibly strange and disingenuous. But maybe that's what her arc is. Maybe she likes him at first for superficial reasons, but by the end of the film, she's charmed by his top dogness and by how Rex is such a great guy, and he falls in love with him for real.
And they called it puppy love.
Now Rex has to participate in the fight club because he was talking to Wanda, and he has to fight Tyson. So he chases Rex in an epic scene that is filled with so much tension. And then Wanda saves Rex's life, and that's how the scene ends. How boring. Rex gives an emotional speech to all the other dogs in the kennel about how they should stick up together and stand up to Tyson and free themselves. It would be nice if I actually cared about any of these characters. Not that it matters anyway, because the next day Rex gets picked up by some random girl to take home as her pet, leaving Wanda behind. But even that doesn't matter because about 30 seconds after leaving the kennel, Rex gets free and heads back to the kennel. So what was even the point of having that scene in the first place? We get an epic final showdown between Rex and Tyson, where all the other dogs stand with Rex, who are no longer afraid of him. Then one random ass dog that I'm pretty sure we have never even learned the name of says,
You have anger management issues.
To top off this epic scene, Chief, the big dog that hasn't said a word the entire film, finally says his first words, followed by a random fart sound effect.
Bring it on, Tyson.
Whoa.
So Chief one-shots Tyson. Pretty sure he's dead now.
All out.
Well, use the forget-me stick.
Oh, right.
Although I must say that some of the stuff seems quite familiar. This whole kennel subplot has scenes that mirror one of my favourite films of all time, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Which sounds absolutely insane, but just hear me out for a second. Both films have the main character locked up in a prison-like environment, run by someone that they all fear. The protagonists then encourage the other inmates to stand up to the antagonist. There's even a big silent character called Chief that has an epic scene where it turns out that they can talk. And they stick up for the protagonist in a physical altercation. Now, if I was to say which film is better, it took some consideration, but it's definitely Queen's Corgi. I think Milos Forman should come back from the grave and give all of Cuckoo's Nest's Oscars to the Queen's Corgi team. It's only fair. So Wanda freed the other friendly dog characters to help Rex stop Charlie from being the new top dog. When Rex asks her how she managed to free them, she says,
You don't want to know.
What the hell does that even mean? Did she do something highly morally reprehensible that Rex wouldn't want to know? Did that ginger guy who works at the kennel allow them to be freed in return for sexual favours? I hope that's not the case, but I wouldn't be surprised if that actually happened, considering some of the other stuff that's in this film. Rex and Wanda confront Charlie about his evilness, and then they both get crushed by top dog merch and they die. No, that doesn't really happen, unfortunately, but Charlie does set the pile of merch on fire because he's a lunatic. There's a lot of flaws in Charlie's plan here. He's going to burn Rex and Wanda alive in this room in Buckingham Palace that Charlie was seen in. Someone's going to notice that pretty soon, see that Rex is there and dead, see it's the room that Charlie was getting ready in, and realise that it was Charlie who did it. What did he think was going to happen? He was going to set off a massive fire and no one would notice for a while. Charlie is as stupid as he is insane. I hope all these characters end up in the fire. The only one who should stay alive is Chief, because he is epic. Rex selflessly saves Wanda by lifting her out of a chimney, up style, which calls back to the beginning of the film when the Bogdan dog said that he once saved the royal family from a fire, and that selfless acts of courage are what it takes to be a top dog. I've changed my mind again. This film is actually brilliant. The Queen's Corgi has Vince Gilligan level writing. Wanda reunites with the other dogs and they rush back into Buckingham Palace to save Rex. And how has nobody outside noticed that there's a giant fire? There are loads of guards outside. You mean to tell me that not one of them looked up? So they free Rex, steal the nice top dog collar from Charlie and give it back to Rex. The Queen finds out that Rex is actually still alive and decides to keep all the other dogs as well for some reason. And then that servant next to her has a fit, also for some reason. Rex lets Charlie stay on as top dog because he has a punishment in mind for him. Charlie will be married to Donald Trump's evil pervert dog. And then they all laugh at the fact that Charlie will be sexually harassed for the rest of his life. How lovely. And that's how the film ends. So what lesson did we learn, kids? Be selfless to people who only want you for your wealth and status.
Get yourself a different woman.
And send anyone who tries to kill you away to be sexually harassed. But honestly, I understand what that review in The Independent meant when it said it was unsuitable for children. With all the references to sexual assault and harassment, Rex biting Donald Trump in the crotch, the dog fight club, the references to animal abuse, it's all so tone deaf. Is it meant to be funny that Rex and Charlie both get harassed by that girl dog? Is it supposed to be funny because it's the funny orange man's dog? The Queen's Corgi is honestly a forgettable film that has really strange blemishes, and there's just a lot of total awfulness. If you want a good animated film about dogs, go watch Secret Life of Pets or something, I don't know. To finish this review off, I found a personality quiz online of which Queen's Corgi character I'd be. I'm going to answer this 100% honestly, so we'll see how I do. What the fuck?